Three correct scores. Three correct scores for Alexa's 3. Well, I'm in a good mood this weekend. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today, we've got more Championship football. We've got match day 20 starting tonight with Preston going up against Bristol City. Championship football is going so quickly right now. We've already made it to match day 20. This season is going so quickly, but I'm loving every single minute of it. If you guys got a correct score, your comment will be on the screen right now. If you got a correct score, Charlie Brown, you got 3. Joshua Frood will get the shout out. You got 4 correct scores, 2 championship scores and 2 Premier League scores. So nicely balanced with you there. I got 3 correct scores. No joke, I got 3 correct scores. It was Blackburn and Rotherham. I got Reading and Norwich correct as well. And I got the Barnsley and Preston game right. Both which ended 2-1. So I'm really happy with that. This is now what Alexa's Hall of Fame looks like. Because of my achievement in midweek, I've now cracked over 30 points. But Charlie Brown and Joshua Frood are maintaining their lead. But if you guys like what you want to see more content, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. I would like to thank you guys for getting me to 350 subscribers. We're 352 now. Could we push for 400 as soon as we can? If you share my video to as many people as you can, YouTubers, anyone that likes championship stuff, all of that would really make my day, and we can get there as soon as we can. But without any further ado, let's start predicting this weekend's games. First game we've got is Preston going up against Bristol City. Both sides not doing too well in terms of their run of form right now. Bristol City have had back-to-back defeats to Rotherham and more recently to Millwall in midweek. Preston right now, they've lost their last 2 away games. They're really struggling, both of these sides. Bristol City, following this form, have fallen down to 9th. Preston down in 16th place, not having a really good start to the season either. Although Preston will be encouraged that they got a fantastic record against this Bristol City side, not losing to them in their last 6 meetings. Bristol City will find this task very daunting, that they are winless against Preston. But anything can happen. I said previously that Blackburn had a poor record against Preston, at Deepdale especially, not winning their last 6. They go and beat Preston by 3-0 at Deepdale, defying the odds and defying the record books. So if there was any year that Bristol City can beat Preston, I think it would be this year. However, I'm not too convinced with both of these sides, especially at the back. Preston's backline doesn't excite me. They've conceded 28 goals, the most goals in the league so far. Bristol City more recently have been conceding City goals. I'm going to say this game will have goals, but I don't think either side will win. I'm going to say 2-2 draw. I think this is going to be a classic. Last year, it ended 3-3, so I'm hoping it's going to be just as dramatic as that. FIFA 21 has actually predicted Preston to get a 1-0 victory. It'll be interesting to see if that's the case. So next game is the early Saturday game, Norwich going up against Cardiff City. Both these sides in pretty good runs of form. Norwich winning their last 4 games. And because of this, Norwich are starting to pull away a little bit in the top of the table. And they don't have any signs of slowing down, beating Reading in midweek. And we started to see the introduction of some of their injuries, including Kieran Dowell, who I thought when he came on, he was absolutely terrific. They got a 2-1 victory against a Reading side, which they were the victims of their own downfall. I mean, their first goal was avoidable with Rena Motter's sloppy back pass to Buendia. With the quality they have, I just don't see Norwich slowing down anytime soon. Cardiff, of course, did have a good result, a 3-2 victory over Birmingham. I mean, I don't associate Cardiff with 5-goal thrillers, but that was a thriller. Honestly, it could have been won by more, but Neil Etheridge, the former goalkeeper for Cardiff, actually saved a penalty as well. It was a mad game overall. Ivan Sanchez's goal for Birmingham as well. Quality. But in terms of this game, I think it's going to be really close. Norwich's last 4 results have ended 2-1 to their favour. I'm going to make that 5. I'm going to say that Norwich get a 2-1 victory against Cardiff. Although Cardiff have won their last 2 away games, so I think it's going to be either 2-1 Norwich or 2-1 Cardiff. There's no in-between with these sides, but I'm going to edge Norwich being the better team, from my opinion, and in the better form. FIFA 21 has actually predicted Norwich to win by 1-0. Next up is Birmingham going up against Middlesbrough. Both sides having contrasting results in midweek, as I just said. With Birmingham, they lost against Cardiff. They'd be very regretting about their first goal they conceded. Jake Clark-Salter literally gave the ball away, and that caused Robert Glatzel to score Cardiff's goal. Although Birmingham, to be fair, did have a bit of a fight back. Both of their goals, I have to say, were really good. Roberts and Ivan Sanchez's goals were really, really good for Birmingham's perspective. And Neil Everidge was a hero for them, saving a penalty as well. They play a Middlesbrough side, which they did beat Luton by 1-0. Chuba Akpom with a goal. Great run by Tavernier and a great pass by Johnson to find Akpom. Luton would feel unlucky they didn't equalise, but people need to practice this. Do not kick the ball twice taking a penalty. We've seen it so many times already this season. You know, if they can actually practice penalties, a basic part of football, you know, they could score a lot more goals. In terms of this game though, Birmingham at home have not been convincing winners in their last 5 home games. Middlesbrough have been winners in their last 5 away games. So, in my opinion, I think this cancels out as a 0-0 draw. I can definitely see that happening, and FIFA 21 is actually going to agree with me. Next up, we've got Brentford going up against Reading. And it seems like Reading now are getting the real challenges in terms of fighting at the top of the table. They had a fantastic start, although they didn't play against sides that were necessarily going to challenge them. They're now facing sides that will challenge them, and if Brentford beat Reading this weekend, they can now overtake Reading. And I think Brentford, form-wise, look really good. They've only lost 3 games all of this season, and it looked pretty good. In midweek, they did draw against Watford. They did go down to 10 men, although how on earth did Sorensen get sent off and nearly had to walk off the pitch instead of Pinnacle? I have no clue. But to be fair to them, the 10 men of Brentford did fight back following that they were 1-0 down due to Troy Deeney's penalty. Reading, of course, had a defeat in midweek against Norwich, victims of their own downfall, I'll reiterate, although they're not playing too bad stuff, but I think they just overcomplicate things a little bit. With this game, I can see Brentford being a little bit comfortable. I think Brentford just naturally are playing in second gear right now, but when they need to bring it, they will bring it. So I'm going to say that they'll beat Reading in this game. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory to Brentford. I think it'll be really close. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 0-0 draw between these two sides, which it's interesting to say the least. Next up is Huddersfield going up against Watford. Really tough to predict this game, actually. Both these sides didn't manage to win in midweek. Huddersfield drew 0-0 to Coventry, although they had a very good chance, especially, I think, in the second half. How they didn't score at least 1 goal against this Coventry side is beyond me, in my opinion. But with Watford, they did have a draw against Brentford. They did take the advantage. They did take the lead, although they didn't lead for very, very long at all. And it seemed to have a little bit of tension between Ivic and Thomas Frank, actually. A little bit of rivalry there we may be seeing. You know, I like a bit of drama where it's at. With this game, I think Huddersfield will feel a bit more confident there at home. I definitely think they play at home much better than they do away from home. Watford, though, don't concede many goals away from home. They had 3 consecutive away clean sheets. Oh, this is so tough to predict. I'm going to edge Watford for a 2-1 victory. I can see this game really sparking into life. Maybe Huddersfield getting an early goal, but then Watford having a complete fight back. I can see it. I'm going to say Watford get a 2-1 away victory. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a Huddersfield 1-0 home win, which could also easily happen. It's a very tight game, this. Next up, we've got Luton going up against Middlesbrough, both sides with contrasting results in midweek. Of course, Luton didn't manage to beat Middlesbrough in midweek. Following that, Sam Morsey got himself sent off. This was a golden opportunity for James Collins to score a penalty, but unfortunately he kicked the ball twice. In terms of Bournemouth, they did beat Wycombe, but they didn't blow them away. They only beat them by 1-0, although they were heavily helped with Wycombe going down to 10 men, with Patterson getting a red card. And eventually they managed to break the deadlock, although there was a little bit heated between Sam Surridge and Stanislas here. So a bit interesting, you know. I don't know if it makes a good look for the sides or not. You know, we've seen it a couple of times. With this game, I think Bournemouth will put things aside. I think they'll be a bit more comfortable with this game. Luton could threaten, but I don't think Bournemouth will give in. I'm going to say they will beat Luton by outscoring them rather than trying to keep a tight defence. I'm going to say a 3-1 away victory to Bournemouth. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 0-0 draw. I completely disagree with that. When I see these two sides, I think we'll see some goals. Next up, we've got Millwall going up against Nottingham Forest. Now, this game last week would have been a huge game. But finding that both of these sides have won in midweek, they look like that both of these sides have turned a corner in terms of their run of form. But playing them right now, probably the wrong time. They'd be wanting to use this part of the season to actually fix their form. Millwall will win this for 10 games until they beat Bristol City by 2-0, and it was a very convincing performance as well. In terms of Nottingham Forest, they beat Sheffield Wednesday pretty comfortably by 2-0 in the City ground. Pretty convincing there. I don't see Sheffield Wednesday really clicking in this Tony Pulis system at the moment, but I think Chris Hughton took full advantage of that, and it's shown to me that he can get performances out of this team, but he's got to do it on a consistent basis. And against this Millwall side, it won't be easy. I think both these sides will be a bit tentative, actually. I don't see much going in this game. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, actually. I was thinking 0-0, and Millwall have been part of a couple of 0-0 draws already this season, but I'm thinking maybe 1-1. And FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 1-0 Millwall win, which will be interesting if that's the case. Next up is Rotherham going up against Derby. Rotherham need to fix their form as soon as they can, and they were cruelly denied at least a point against Blackburn Rovers. They took the lead from Smith, and the Dabber had a fantastic chance for a header near the end of the game. But ultimately, Harvey Elliott and Adam Armstrong in the 98th minute put them to the sword. Absolutely gut-wrenching for Rotherham to lose the game in that manner. Literally the last kick of the game. I was happy I got a correct score, but I felt so bad for Rotherham because I think they played quite well until they conceded those 2 goals from Harvey Elliott and Adam Armstrong, actually. They play a Derby side who seem to have turned a corner under Wayne Rooney now. They've not lost a game for Wayne Rooney being as manager. They've only conceded 2 goals in their last 6 games with Wayne Rooney being at charge as well. 4 clean sheets in a row. He's really sorted out this defence, Wayne Rooney. And with this game, I can definitely see Derby probably having the upper hand. Although, I see this game not quite going Derby's way. I think Rotherham will know that they are so determined to get something. I think the good thing about Rotherham, they don't let their heads drop. That when they have a bad result, they go at teams even harder. I can see Rotherham winning this one, actually, but I'm actually going to edge a 1-1 draw with this game. I think both sides will cancel each other out. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 0-0 draw with this game. Could easily happen as well. Next up is Sheffield Wednesday going up against Coventry. Sheffield Wednesday need to win as soon as they can. They have been one of the worst sides in terms of form so far. But with Sheffield Wednesday at home, it's a bit encouraging. They've only lost 1 home game in their last 6 home games. So I think Sheffield Wednesday definitely have some stability at home. But they've not won in their last 6 home games. They need to stop drawing at home and actually win at home. And then Sheffield Wednesday may actually have a chance to get out of the predicament they find themselves. Coventry right now have really settled into the Championship. 4 home clean sheets in a row, and they're proving to have a really tight defence. With this game, I'm actually going to say another 1-1 draw. I think both these sides will cancel each other out. Once again, I was thinking 0-0, but I think 1-1 might be the more realistic result for me, in my opinion. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 2-0 Coventry win, probably considering the form, but I think both these sides will get a 1-1 draw. Next up, we've got Stoke going up against Blackburn. Both of these sides pretty high up the table right now, but only separated by a matter of points right now. If Blackburn get a win, they can overtake Stoke. Stoke right now, unfortunately, since that Tyrese Campbell injury, they have not scored a goal since. And they need to start scoring from other areas of the pitch if they need to recover. They've got a load of injuries, Stoke. And we've seen it with Norwich already. They've got a load of injuries, but they still get results. You know, this is going to be the difference. Which team can manage their injuries best? And Stoke, unfortunately, are not really managing them too well. Blackburn will be feeling high with confidence for the fact they managed to score 2 goals in the last 18 minutes of the game to manage to beat Rotherham, being from 1 goal down. And they do have a strong record against this Blackburn side as well. Away from home, I think Blackburn have been okay as well. I'm going to say that Blackburn get a 2-1 away victory. Stoke also at home did recently lose 2-1 to Cardiff. And I think Blackburn will then do the same. And according to FIFA 21, this game will end 1-0 to Blackburn. So we're both predicting a Blackburn win. Next, we've got Swansea going up against Barnsley. I mean, what happened to Swansea midweek against Derby? They allowed Derby to have their first home win of the season. But it was a poor performance by the Swans. Not a single shot on target. And they could have really lost by more if Derby were more clinical. Kazim Richards managed to score the goal. And Joswiak gained his first goal of the season. Both really, really good goals for Derby. And they really didn't allow Swansea to look threatening at all. And it shocked me to see how poor Swansea could be for the fact that they are this high up the Championship table. They definitely need to have a response in this game against a Barnsley side who are doing pretty well in terms of their form right now. 4 wins in a row. They beat Preston in midweek by 2-1. They did fall behind to Sean Maguire, but they had a terrific second half performance to turn things around. With this game, I think there's only going to be 1 goal within it. And I do think I'm going to edge Swansea. Despite the defeat in midweek, I think Swansea do recover from games well, and I do think they're very strong at home. Barnsley, you know, they have been all right away from home, but I do find their performances more convincing at home. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory to Swansea, and FIFA 21 is actually going to predict another 0-0 draw. It's going to be really, really close. And then the final game to predict this weekend is Wycombe going up against Queen's Park Rangers. The two worst informed teams in the Championship going up against each other. This is a huge game for both of these sides. They've not won in their last 9 games, Wycombe. You know, they had a promising period, but then they've slumped again. And that is exactly what I said they couldn't afford to do. Queen's Park Rangers, though, it's just not really gone Queen's Park Rangers' way. They had so many unlucky moments and so many unlucky games, in my opinion. They've definitely, attacking-wise, got a good enough squad, but they shouldn't be in the position that they're in my opinion. For me, I actually think both of these sides will be very determined, but I think this will be a 1-1 draw. I don't think either side will win, both adding to the frustration. And I do think if this happens, I think we will be seeing curtains of Mark Warburton and Queen's Park Rangers, in my opinion. And according to FIFA 21, they're actually going to agree with me that this game will end 1-1-2. But that's my score predictions from the Championship Matchday 20. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments down below. If you get a correct score, your comment will be included in my review video, and you'll get a chance to be in the Lexus Hall of Fame. Without any further ado, let's start predicting the Premier League games. Another opportunity for you to get some extra points in the Lexus Hall of Fame. Crystal Palace and Liverpool. I'm going to say Liverpool get a 1-0 victory. Southampton and Manchester City. Southampton having a fantastic start. Man City going off the pace a little bit. I'm going to say 1-1 actually. Everton Arsenal. I think this will be a classic 2-2 draw. I think it'll be close. Newcastle Fulham, 0-0 in my opinion. The Mitrovic derby. Brighton Sheffield United, a big game for both these sides. I'm going to say Brighton get a 1-0 victory, and I think this will be curtains for Chris Wilder if he can't beat Brighton in this game. Spurs and Leicester. I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be 2-0 Spurs. Manchester United and Leeds. This is the game I'm looking forward to the most. I'm going to say 2-2 again. I think this will be a classic. And West Brom Aston Villa, I think by contrast, I think this will be a 0-0. But that wraps it up with all my predictions for this video. If you guys like what you see, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It would really, really make my day. And if you can, please share my channel to as many people as you like. God, I've really made my day. We want to push to 400 subscribers as soon as we can. The sooner we get there, the sooner we can get to 1,000 subscribers, which would be my target. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you're signing in this video. And as always, take care.